Good afternoon, student. Today I am going to discuss about a molecular technique, that is 2D gel electrophoresis. So you know what is 2D gel electrophoresis? It is a technique through which we separate different size protein that have different pi on the basis of size. So you know, in this diagram there are two samples of blood protein, that is hemoglobin. One is sickle cell person hemoglobin, you can say it is a disease sample, and one is normal sample, that is NB. So there are two samples, that is sample A and sample B. After collection of the blood, we isolate the protein, that is hemoglobin protein. We purify it, and then after purification we separate the protein that may have different size on the basis of a molecular technique, that is 2D gel electrophoresis. 2D gel electrophoresis means in the first step, that is in one dimension, we are going to separate the protein on the basis of isoelectrofocusing. So you know what do you mean by isoelectrofocusing? To understand this isoelectrofocusing, you must know what is pi. What is pi? The pH of particular protein at which net charge is 0. It means when any protein attain a specific pi, it will not move from that point or from that pH on the pH strip. If you see the pH strip, the year 0 to 14, that is given in the diagram, and on this pH strip we load or put the mixture of protein sample of two different person, that is one of the normal person and one of the disease person. So there is a separation of protein on the basis of pi. Each protein has its specific pi. So protein slowly and slowly move toward its respective pH after attaining the particular pi. When the protein will separate, then it may be possibility that more than two mixture of protein that is going to at become static on same pi, then how can we separate this protein have different size but have same pi? It means they need of further investigation and use of the techniques. That is the second technique of 2D gel electrophoresis, that is SDS page. You know, in SDS page we have already separated the protein sample of two different person in two different pH strip through isoelectrofoxing. Now the separated protein through isoelectrofoxing we put in the two different SDS page apparatus, where further there is a separation of protein on the basis of size or weight. So higher the size, higher the weight of the protein will move slower from the well. If you see that two rectangular shape structure, that is the apparatus of SDS page for the sample A and sample B. In sample A, that is the disease one, and in the sample B, that is the normal person protein sample. So when we proceed for electrophoresis, that is SDS page electrophoresis, then if more than two protein may have same pi, then further we separate on the basis of size, on the basis of molecular mass, molecular weight. So after separation, if the electrophoresis process occurred in 70% area or 80% area, then with the help of different staining process, either silver stain or Comasi blue stain or fluorescent stain or autoradiography, we will try to find the spot of protein that the same pi protein, if there are more than two protein have the same pi, it can be differentiated. Now in the next step we will observe the spotted structure of the protein and we compare between two gel of two different sample. If there is any one protein that is not present in other gel, then the arrow indicate in this diagram that is the particular protein which is not present in other samples. Then this protein is further for investigation purpose. For this we first cut the protein along with gel for further study. So what we will do? We do the buffer and enzyme for digestion of the gel and purification of protein. So just see the arrow in the diagram. This is the protein that is different one from rest other protein. So that protein is the purpose for scientific study. sequencing purpose. Then after isolation of protein from the gel or particular spot, we proceed for MALDI-TOF. Do you know what is MALDI-TOF? Matrix assisted laser desorption ionization. So after sequencing with the help of bioinformatics tools, proteomics tools, with the known reference sample, we try to match the sample protein through MALDI-TOF apparatus, and then we match the protein that is with reference sample. Then we can conclude the sequencing of the protein, and then we will able to identify the protein of interest, that is novel protein, that is not present in other samples. So we will able to find the structure of the protein, the helical structure, that is the alpha helix or beta pleated, what are the different amino acids are present in the helical part, and what are the different type of protein present, that is the amino acid present, whether the majority of the amino acid are hydrophobic in nature, hydrophilic nature, or aromatic in nature, or basic in nature. Then through MALDI-TOF techniques we will conclude the helical pattern of that protein and try to find out the function of protein with on the basis of projected structure that was developed by software tools of bioinformatics. So this is all about that is 2D gel electrophoresis. Now a question is coming in our mind: why 2D gel electrophoresis is better than 1D gel electrophoresis? If we follow only one technique of this 2D gel electrophoresis, we cannot further clarify whether the protein have mixture, the protein sample have mixture of only one protein type or more than two different protein type that have different size. If we proceed only isoelectrofocusing in one dimension. In other hand, if we are following only SDS page, in that situation also we will not able to find the protein that have same pi or not. So for further clarification, the final clarification of the protein structure, protein size, protein pi, we proceed for 2D gel electrophoresis. That's why 2D gel electrophoresis is better than 1D gel electrophoresis. Second question coming in our mind: what is the basic principle of 2D gel electrophoresis? So the first basic principle is isoelectrofocusing. So you know, through isoelectrofocusing we are going to separate the protein mixture on the basis of pi. Each protein has its specific pi. This is the characteristic of each type of protein. So first we separate the protein on the basis of pi. Then there is need of investigation whether the protein have the same pi, have the different size mixture protein or not. So this is not a confirmation till now. So for further investigation or confirmation, we proceed the second dimension, that is SDS page. So second principle of this 2D gel electrophoresis is SDS polyacrylamide gel electrophoresis. So through this we separate the protein on the basis of size, on the basis of molecular weight, on the basis of charge by mass ratio. So we separate the protein on that basis. So this is the two basic principle of SDS page. Now if question ask in your CBSE exam or any competitive exam that what is 2D gel electrophoresis, then you have to draw this flow charts. In this flow chart we show the diagram, that is the two different protein sample of two person, whether the person sample can be blood or protein of the muscles. Then we separate the protein in one dimension on the basis of pi, and then further after reduction and alkylation. What do you mean by reduction? Means we are going to reduce the other bond, okay, and then SDS reduce the protein structure, okay, and then we further separate the protein on the basis of mass, on the basis of size, on the basis of mass by charge ratio. So generally SDS provide the negatively charge of all the protein. That's why the protein will move from cathode to anode. From the top end it is cathode, and at the bottom end there is anode. So protein is going to separate. Now further we stain the gel, polyacrylamide gel with any dye, and then we try to compare the protein spot. If we find any different spot, then we cut that spot gel, and then we separate the protein from that gel, and then further we proceed for MALDI-TOF. With the help of reference sample we compare the unknown protein with the help of bioinformatics tools. So this is the basis of 2D gel electrophoresis. Next question come in your mind, that who has developed this 2D gel electrophoresis? So first of all, O'Farrell's in 1975. O'Farrell's, a scientist, in 1975 they have developed 2D gel electrophoresis. So there are so many enzymes that has some specific pi, like pepsin have pi 1, then urease have pi 5, and lysozyme have pi 11. So these are the examples. Means all the protein, if it is work as enzyme, means must attain its characteristic feature, that is pi. Now we proceed for the next topic, that is protein fingerprinting or peptide mapping. Through this protein fingerprinting or peptide mapping, we will able to know there is any specific change in the protein of two different samples. For this, a scientist of V.A. Ingram have developed a technique that is known as peptide mapping. He has developed this technique, that is peptide mapping. For this he has also isolated the two sample, one is normal and one is sickle cell. After isolation of RBC from the blood, he has purified the blood. In purification he has purified the hemoglobin of two different sample. Then two different sample means the normal hemoglobin and sickle cell hemoglobin. Now after purification of the hemoglobin, he has given the treatment with trypsin. Then trypsin that will cut the peptide bond near to lysine or arginine region. Here the lysine amino acid or arginine amino acid are present in the polypeptide chain of hemoglobin. There only this trypsin has cut and got fragment of this polypeptide. Then he has proceed for paper electrophoresis. Then further he has proceed for paper chromatography. After completion of chromatography, he has stained with Comasi brilliant blue. Then he has observed the different spot of protein in paper chromatogram of the normal sample of the protein RBC and sickle cell sample of the protein hemoglobin or RBC. Mainly he has observed the hemoglobin protein spot. So he has compared each spot. Then he has found that one of the spot is different from that of the normal. Then he has isolated that particular segment that was not present in the normal. Then he has isolated the protein sample from the paper chromatogram, and then he has proceed for peptide sequencing. Through peptide sequencing, he was able to know what are the change occur in beta chain of hemoglobin. In beta chain of hemoglobin, at 6th position from the amino terminal, there was a point mutation. In this point mutation, glutamic acid was replaced by valine. So that point mutation was detected by the scientist V. A. Ingram in 1957 and confirmed the difference between normal hemoglobin and sickle cell hemoglobin. So this was the whole procedure of protein fingerprinting or peptide fingerprinting. So you must know the purification of the protein steps, then digestion of the protein with the help of trypsin, then separation of the protein on the basis of size through paper electrophoresis or paper chromatography. Then after staining of the protein sample with ninhydrin, he has compared the spot. Then he has found the different spot that is present in the sickle cell, and then he has isolated that spot, and then he has proceed for peptide sequencing with the help of MALDI-TOF, with the help of reference sample in the MALDI-TOF, and he has tried to find what are the changes occur due to point mutation. So he has observed that the normal cell RBC shape was round shape, but the sickle cell RBC shape was sickle due to this point mutation, in which glutamic acid was replaced by valine. So this was the overall story of peptide mapping or protein fingerprinting. Thank you.